Welcome back, everybody, and today we're talking about a game called West of Loathing. This game is absolutely hilarious, so let's just dig right into it. First out, you'll notice it's all done in stick figure animation. It is a comedy game, so that fits it pretty well. So West of Loathing is a comedy cowboy game that takes place in the West. You're going west, and you're playing an RPG. There's turn-based combat, leveling, and everything else that you could ever want out of an RPG type of game. There are 3 classes to choose from at the very, very beginning. You could be a bean slinger, which is your mage. You could be a cow puncher, which is your melee focused character, or you could be a snake oiler, which is your gun focused character. I picked a snake oiler. I genuinely enjoy playing the snake oiler. I've played this game a few times in the past, and I've tried out all the classes. They're all very good. They've all got a lot of very good things going on about them. So what's going on in West of Loathing? Well, first of all, the big thing you might want to pay attention to is that in West of Loathing, there's a tragedy that happened. And you're not exactly leaving your house to go and figure it out, but you're more or less learning about it and seeing the results of it as you travel. This event was the event when the cows came home. Boy, I tell you what, that back then when them there cows came home, I didn't know which way was up, which way was down, which way was north, east, south, or west. When them cows came home, everything was on fire. It's a real tragedy when the cows came home. So the cows are demons, and the whole thing is that anyone who had like a dairy farm would be top priority to target them, any kind of dairy ranch. So you'll be fighting demon cows at some point in the game, no doubt, and in fact quite early, if you do everyone's little side quests and stuff. So for the gameplay, it's all going to be super early game, mostly just like grabbing stuff from your own house and then doing the tutorial area. I guess you could call it a tutorial or a prologue or whatever have you. The first area of Boring Springs. Now, I don't completely accomplish everything that can be accomplished in Boring Springs, but I do a good amount of it, a good variety of things. There's several characters you can have as companions. You can only have one companion when you leave. And when you get to Boring Springs, your primary goal is going to be to buy yourself a horse, because traveling is a lot easier when you're riding a horse. It's a lot harder to walk, obviously. Also, I'm just going to throw it out there, strong recommendation to make sure you get the Book of Silly Walks, or the Book of Stupid Walks, or whatever they called it. That makes the game significantly more entertaining. So, is this a challenging game? I mean, it's I wouldn't say it's like hard, but there can be some difficult fights, especially if you're not prepared for them. There's also ways to get around certain fights. If you've got good enough perks and certain skills, perhaps you have a high enough lockpicking skill to bypass something that would otherwise be a fight, or perhaps there's an opportunity for you to use your hornswoggling skill in order to hornswoggle your way through it, kind of bullshit people. And there's like a lot of skills you can learn throughout the game, a ton of skills. They all have amazing names. If hornswoggling doesn't tell you that the names are going to be great for all the skills in the game, then I don't know what will. Because hornswoggling it's super useful too, but it's a great name. Also, every character will have skills related to their class for combat. Your bean slingers will have their spells. Your snake oilers will have their ways of shooting, and your cow punchers will have their melee techniques. Now, regardless of your class, you have 2 weapon slots, a slot for a gun and a slot for a melee weapon. So you can utilize those pretty much regardless. And you'll find weapons that provide buffs to classes that would not normally use them. So those can be very useful to have around. Very good to have around, honestly. So I am gonna say it. I strongly recommend this game. It's a genuinely good time. There is a DLC for it, actually. A DLC expansion that's also quite good. A little bit of Ghostbusters action. And like I said, the footage that I recorded, I only recorded up to the point where you get the southeast-west map. So once you have the southeast-west map, you can go ahead and leave and head on into the main bulk of the game. There's a lot of relatively random events that can happen. Some of these can give you some really cool items or unlock new areas, or some of them are just fights that can happen. Grinding on the overworld is absolutely a thing you can do to get levels. You can insult yourself in the mirror in dirt water to make yourself angry. You can only have so many stacks of angry before you pass out from rage, but each stack of angry that you have will give you a buff to your stats and make you a better fighter because you're mad, and that is a benefit in a fight. It gives you a bonus to your strength, your moxie, and your mysticality. The game itself, though, it's been around for a little while. I believe it was a browser game at one point, but it got a Steam release in 2017, and it's $11. It's $14 if you get the $14 or $15 if you get the game with the DLC. But on its own, it's $11. That's not bad. It's overwhelmingly positive, with a collective 4,000 reviews overall. 97% of them have been positive. The game is written very well. A lot of the jokes are very good. They don't outstay their welcome too much. I don't think I've come across any jokes in the game that actually overstayed their welcome. Another nice perk of the game is because it's a Wild West game, there is hats galore. All kinds of hats. Because, you know, hats are they're a big deal. They're a very big deal. Plus, this is one of those games that works just fine on Linux. I know that's not something I've mentioned before in any videos, but this game absolutely does work on Linux, as far as I understand. And see, I don't use Linux, but as far as I've known, Linux is a little bit of a pain in the butt to get games to work on sometimes. And, yeah, so this is a fucking grade A game, though. I would totally recommend. I've spent 13 hours in it, 13 or 14 hours in it overall, and I can assure you, I have not seen everything that there is to see in this game. It is very, very good. Just the base game itself is absolutely worth every penny. The extra $4 or $5 or whatever to pick up Reckoning at Gun Manor, the DLC, absolutely worth it. All kinds of goofy slang, all kinds of goofy this, goofy that. Everything is hilarious. Everything is good jokes. It's just a good game. It's just a damn good game. There's a good variety of enemies to be found. It's not the biggest variety of enemies to find. A lot of it's going to be like a lot of undead and a lot of cows, but you know, ever since the cows came home, been a little bit rough out there in the old Wild West. But there is plenty to do, plenty to explore, plenty to experience here. So I think that's gonna do it for this one. I thoroughly enjoyed playing through this game myself on my own time. I enjoyed thoroughly coming back and revisiting it again to record some footage for you guys here. And I recommend snatching it up and thoroughly enjoying it for yourself, because there's a lot of ways that you can have a very different experience than I did, and that could be a very fun experience to have. Anyhow, for now, I'm gonna get out of here. Like, comment, subscribe, you know, the works, do the thing. Go ahead and grief that bell button, or dislike it. Tell me to saw it off in the comments if you'd like to. I don't mind. Whatever floats your boat. And until next time, I will fucking see you later.